Welcome back to Close Enough Garage. Today I'm not really actually working on too much of anything. We're going to be starting this thing up for the year. It's been sitting mothballed since November. It's April now, so we're starting to get some warm days, warmer nights, above 40 degrees or so we'll start getting ready for the car show season. Before I do that, I want to go over some things about this bike. I get a lot of questions about what all's been done to it, what have I done to it, and so on and so forth. So we'll get into that. We'll get right into getting it ready to go, testing out the air ride upgrades, and getting it fired up. This thing is loud. So to start, I'm not sure if or how I can add pictures to a video. If I can, I will try to put one up. This bike came to me as a pretty much bone stock 2001 Honda Shadow Ace 750. The Ace model stands for American Classic Edition, if I recall. Obviously, that's not the bike that we have sitting before us today now. So we're just going to go ahead and start at the front of the bike and go over the whole thing, everything that's been done with it. It had a stock 17-inch front wheel on it. I retained the original hub and the original brake system, and of course freshened all that up, and then I actually built the wheel, well, both wheels myself. It's got a 21-inch rim band, handmade spokes from Buchanan's Spokes in California. They're great people. If you're going to go this route, I highly suggest you deal with them. Shinko white walls. In the forks for the front air ride, it's got, I believe on a previous video I said American Racing. That was a mistake. It is American Suspension. The part number is AR70-41, and what they are is they're a fork drop-in. So you basically take your forks off, you dump out the springs, most of the fluid, you leave a little bit of the shock fluid in there, your spacers, all that stuff, and then you drop the forks, the fork pistons right in, drill and tap the head for your pipe thread for your air fitting, and then you run your air fitting. Now, if you remember, we did upgrade to a 1/4-inch line. The reason being for that is that the bike was taking a good 30 seconds to get aired all the way up because it's a tankless system. It doesn't store air. The suspension is the air tank. That was really slow. So I know it's never going to be a quick up, but hopefully it's a little bit quicker than what we had and a little bit less obnoxious when I'm trying to go somewhere and I got to sit there and wait for it to air up. Let's see, dashboard's gone off the tank. That's all been filled and smoothed and shaved off. Got that replaced with a GPS speedometer on a mount that I made myself for it. It's a direct fit for this. It's perfect. Upgraded the headlight, make it a little bit brighter. All new cooling system. It had one coolant leak when it came to me, and I just went overboard and bought everything. Relocated the coolant overflow tank to a liquor bottle on the other side. My wife made a logo for that. Makes it look like an old-timey medicine bottle. It's pretty cool. It's bondage strapped to a handmade mount with rawhide leather strapping. My wife also made custom handlebar and swing arm bags for the bike. She sat there, leather, scissors, needle, punches, all that stuff, made them all 100% by hand. She did an awesome job on those. Of course, we've got the 18-inch 8 hangers. I get a lot of comments about these. I hate these bars. This bike is so awkward and so uncomfortable to ride, and I simply do not like the bars on it, but visually, nothing else would have fit the build as well. And this bike isn't a daily rider. It's never going to go long distances or anything like that. It's just basically from garage to show and back to garage. So comfort really wasn't the first thing in my mind when I was building this. Of course, we got the frame here. Frame's been chopped behind the rear shocks. That's real common. But then it had a ton of mounts and other stuff all through this area that's all been shaved off and smoothed. Engine's been redone. Of course, the paint job, I do pinstriping and airbrushing and custom paint myself, so this is all my work, and I'll get in closer on that in a little bit. Pure, or not pure, but 23 karat gold leaf that's real gold through the tank, the fender, and the headlight. What else do we have? Jesus. I will eventually be making my own plates to move the forward controls forward, and then I'll just be welding up some longer control rods for those. I did the same thing for the rear, because when this thing's parked and it's flat on the ground, to be able to get it to tuck in properly and have enough room for it to actually park flat on the frame with no kickstand, I stretched the swing arm 3 inches. It's got Harley bags in the back. Of course, another wheel that I made with another Shinko white wall, typical axle mount license plate holder, new seat. I mean, realistically, there's nothing left on the bike that is stock. Now, there is a couple of things that I didn't make or I didn't do. Of course, you notice the big Honda Shadow airbox is gone. I'm running a couple of short stack pods on there on brand new carburetors. The pod kit, the jet kit, this nice beefy, I mean, guys, that is thick stainless steel. Handmade exhaust, the E-tank where all the relays and electronics and the bike's brain and all that now live, and the rear fender were all made by my buddy Justin Alexander at MotorPsychol J out of Florida. He specializes on parts for these Honda Shadows, especially, if I recall, the VLX 600 and the 750 are like the ones he's got the most parts availability for and all that stuff. He does offer these things. They are at a good deal too. For the exhaust, for example, I believe I paid $375 for that, plus shipping and handling, and that's right about median range for any kind of decent exhaust for these bikes. But he's got cuts and styles and all that nobody else offers. He's got kinds that are like this that come out and kick up. They're called skirt blowers. These are his slash cuts. He's got punishers that actually wrap around and down and dump straight to the ground. He's got drag pipes, all kinds of shit that he makes. So guys, go ahead. I'm going to drop a link for his Facebook business page in the description. Check him out. Tell him that you've seen him on my channel. He's a really good dude. I vouch for him 100% of the way. He's a close friend of mine as well since I started this build, and wouldn't trade the dude for the world. He's great people. So, coil relocation. Got the air ride switches on the other side of the E-tank. They're basically sitting here and here for front, rear, individual control. Those are on the other side. Of course, new brakes. Extending the swing arm. I had to actually use some old blacksmith techniques and heated some metal and heated it until it glowed and beat it, and made my own swing arm support for the swing arm to the brakes. Welded in a longer section for the rear brakes to go ahead and extend that to match the swing arm. It's got a 150 link X-ring chain on it. Those I had to find as a kid on eBay and size it to what I needed. Nobody made a chain that was, exactly what I needed for this project. Because you start doing all this one-off shit on a bike, then you're not going to find a whole lot of ready parts availability for it. So, I will grab the camera here in a minute. I'll bring you guys in and just take a little bit closer look at the handmade wheel, the coolant overflow relocation, the bags that my wife made, the paint job, all that stuff. Get the close-ups out of the way. Then pretty soon I'm going to go ahead and drop the battery in. There's some other mods. Air ride manifold now sits on top of the swing arm. The compressor sits below the swing arm, and it clears. It has plenty of room down there. And the battery box used to be where this E-tank is now. I now run a tiny lithium battery, and it actually sits between the front of the swing arm and the back of the frame in its own little mount that I made fastened to the front of the swing arm. We're going to go ahead and get get moving forward on this. I'll get the battery put in it, start getting it tested, check the air system for leaks, all that good stuff, because otherwise, if I keep sitting here and talking about it, I'm going to find another 20 things that are unique or custom to this bike. And that's not really the goal here. The goal here is to get a little bit of excitement going and get this thing fired up today and get it ready for the show circuit. Yeah, one last thing. See, I fucking told you. One last thing with these tall apes. I had to lengthen all the wires myself. All the wiring is done right here by me. Venhill, Venhill, they are a cable company out of the UK. They do DIY cable kits. They give you just a real long length of cable, and you make what you need to fit your bike. So we've also got custom throttle cable on it. It drops the push-pull assembly and just a single cable on that. It's got a custom clutch cable. As I said, all the wiring has been lengthened and extended. So we'll go ahead, I'll get the battery in it, start getting it ready, and then we'll get some close-ups and start working the air system, because I do got to get it pulled out a little bit further. And got a buddy that should be on his way very soon, and we will be going over the bike together, just doing the basic checks on, you know, all the fasteners are still tight, nothing came loose. It's got 50 miles on it now since it was built, so it's a great time to go ahead and start messing with that and making sure everything's holding together properly. Check the swing arm extension for cracks in the welds. It shouldn't be, because it's actually a double welded setup I've got. It's got inner and outer supports, as opposed to the cheap little 16th inch steel that the stock swing arm was made out of. There's probably about an 1/8 inch of meat added on back there. I'm not too worried, but still want to check it and make sure. So hang on tight, and we'll get right into that here in just a moment. Alright, well, as I said, before I get going too far on this, we're going to go ahead and get in on the details and the finer things that you can't see from 10 foot away, you know. So, as I said, I was able to retain the stock brake system. Of course, that's all been new and replaced. Built the wheels, front and rear. Got the white walls on those. Guys, my wife did such a killer job on these bags. She has no leather experience at all. She's never done it. She's got a little R on there for rodeo. Of course, this will be for like my wallet and my phone. Down in that one on the swing arm here, I've got spare air ride hose, or air hose, spare air fittings. And then over here on the other side, I've got, just for the registration paperwork. She also did the label for the coolant overflow here. If we can get a good focus on that, you can go ahead and freeze it, read it at your leisure. And then the paint, of course, it's the same on both sides. I'm going to get away from that wall and them tools that might fall on the bike. So, the bike is Texas themed. There's a story behind it, but that's the floating mesa in Amarillo, Texas there. Basically, the bike I had my accident on was painted my mom's favorite shade of blue, because I hoped it would, you know, kind of lessen the worry and the concern that, oh my God, he's on a motorcycle, it's driving me nuts. You know, she hated it from the get-go. Another personal touch. Come home safe. My wife and daughters signed it under the paint with paint marker. It was an idea of mine, so I just had a piece of them with me every time I rode. Of course, you got more candy and flake going through the fender. More leafing. But yeah, the bike that I had my accident on was painted my mom's favorite blue. Well, we grew up in the country, and my mom and I used to listen to a lot of Garth Brooks. That shirt's actually got chunks of me still in it. So anyway, it just kind of fit. I mean, I wanted to attribute it to my mom a little bit more. I am a huge mama's boy, so we got rodeo after the Garth Brooks song. She lives in Texas. They live by Houston, and You know, if you don't know the song, the opening lyrics are, his eyes are cold and restless, his wounds have almost healed, and she'd give half of Texas just to change the way he feels. And that's kind of the inspiration for the build. And then, of course, in the panel style graphics, it's all representative. So you got the sunburst from Texas. It's so sunny and so warm there. You got the never-ending roads, the never-ending line for the long roads, because it's just everywhere. You know, gar fishing, gator, that's all big there. So we got guard scales in the fenders. And then, as I said, we got the floating mesa here in Amarillo. Those are all native cactus species. This paint is a Createx Wicked Opaque Cream. And then it's got an inner coat over top of it of House of Color, Inca Gold Pearl. This is a mix of Createx Candy 2.0, Dirt Track Brown with a tequila yellow mixed in, so it's kind of a custom mix. I'm calling it a Candy Cherry Cola. These are Little Daddy Roth flakes, and then it's all top coated with, what was it? Summit Racing High Solids Urethane Clear Coat, which is basically an old Kirker rebrand. Now this year I will be trying some new things. We're moving up to a Sherwin-Williams Finish 1, because this is all raw right out of the gun, and it does have a little bit of orange peel. It's really not bad at all for a gun finish, but it's shot with an ancient clear coat recipe and done with a $40 paint gun. So I've stepped up my game. We'll see that in another video, but the materials I'm working with now, the equipment I'm going to be working with now, are going to blow this out of the water, because the next thing to get painted is going to be the VTX. So obviously we're off the blocks. We are sitting here. I'm still waiting on my buddy to show up, so let's get it fired up, warmed up, let it run 10-15 minutes for now, and check the air pressure and just go over the whole bike, check all the nuts, bolts, fasteners, everything else, and then we taking it for a test ride today. See if she will fire up. Now, little choke. So the result I got isn't exactly what I was hoping for. It's still painfully slow going up, but that's fine. It's not a daily rider. It's not anything I'm really going to worry about, but it is a little bit quicker than what it was before. As we sit here and wait. And in front. Up. See, it's a slow fill. There we go. And that's the top of the movement. That's going to be about ride height on this bike. So that's going to do it. I do got to get a fusible link. I'm about to run out and grab that right now, because I keep having to wiggle this one to get it to work right, and that's not right. It doesn't work quick. So, a couple little kinks, little things to work out. There is one thing. I didn't think it would work, so I didn't say nothing about it. But guys, this stuff works. My exhaust smells like apple pie. It's stupid, but it's awesome. I love it. All right, well, my buddy is still not here, and I'm going for a ride. So, he's supposed to be here about an hour and a half ago. I don't think he's going to show today. Give you a little rev of this thing. Now it's warmed up. Might have to make a quick adjustment, and then I'm gone. Shouldn't be backfiring that much. Alright, so I'm back here at home. I had a good test ride on the bike. Same as usual. I had to swing by AutoZone, so I swung by AutoZone, and everybody comes out, starts looking at the bike, talking to me about it. Same thing at the fuel station too. So it's a hit everywhere it goes. It's the only thing louder than my bikes in this neighborhood. Anyway, wasn't really much to help anybody with today, but hopefully you guys at least enjoyed the video. Enjoyed my little project. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Have a good one.